choice will change the fate of the nation. Remembering the suffering of her past life, the princess chooses the general without hesitation. Because of the screen blocking the view, no one knows whom the princess has chosen. Then the emperor sets the wedding date 7 days later. At this time the scumbag confidently walks out of the great hall, because he believes the princess surely chose him. Seeing the princess waiting by the door, he thinks she is waiting for him, so he steps forward and accuses the princess of presumptuously deciding their marriage, and demands that the princess apologize to the scheming woman. The princess is too lazy to waste words with him. She pushes him aside and walks toward the general. The princess remembers the general's genuine devotion to her in the previous life, and resolves to spend the rest of her life with him in this one. When the scumbag sees the princess ignoring him, he even tries to raise his hand to strike her, but is stopped in time by the general. The cowardly scumbag dares not act again, but still threatens that the princess must apologize to the scheming woman, otherwise she should not expect to marry him. After speaking, he leaves in embarrassment. However, the princess pays no attention to his threats. Then she gently removes the general's mask. Unexpectedly, the usually cold general is remarkably handsome. The general tries to retrieve his mask but is stopped. Then the princess hints that she has already chosen the general as her husband. The general initially thinks this is just a joke, but the princess solemnly states that 7 days later she will be dressed in her wedding gown waiting for him. Even after the princess leaves, the general still hasn't recovered from his shock. The next day the princess prepares wedding jewelry at a jewelry shop. At this time the scumbag also brings the scheming woman inside, and the scheming woman takes a liking to the jewelry the princess selected. At this moment the scumbag still thinks these are apology gifts the princess prepared. Just as the scumbag reaches out to take them, the princess directly puts them away. At this point the scumbag notices the princess's attitude has obviously changed, but he pays it no mind. Instead he lets the scheming woman select other jewelry, and claims that the princess will pay for everything. The princess is instantly amused by his audacity. Before long the scumbag has selected over a dozen pieces of jewelry for the scheming woman. Just as they are overjoyed, the shop owner presents them with the payment bill. The scumbag realizes the princess refuses to pay for them, so he threatens the princess that if she won't help settle the bill she must return the betrothal hairpin he gave her. So the princess immediately removes the hairpin and snaps it in two, casually tossing it on the ground before turning to leave. Seeing the princess leave, the scumbag begins to comfort the scheming woman, and presumptuously says that after he marries the princess, he will buy the entire shop for her. In the blink of an eye the wedding day arrives. The princess has decorated her residence and waits for the general to arrive. Unexpectedly at this moment the narcissistic scumbag actually walks in wearing wedding attire with the scheming woman. Until this moment the scumbag still believes he is the groom, and he says the princess's recent behavior has made him very dissatisfied, that after the marriage he will definitely make her change her temperament. At this time the general is leading a grand wedding procession to arrive. Then the princess states that today she will not marry the scumbag, and the scumbag still thinks the princess is playing hard to get, and says that besides himself no one would be willing to marry her. But just as the scumbag finishes speaking, the general